G'day, it's Jamie, and welcome to Where's My Yowie. Today, I'm reading an old newspaper report about German WW1 propaganda that was used to justify the use of poisonous gas. So we'll get into it. This was published in Sydney's The Sun on Sunday, the 23rd of May, 1915, titled German News Proving Britain's Barbarity, Kangaroos, Bunyips and Kookaburras. The Germans excused the use of poisonous gases on the ground that England was about to throw 2,000 mad and starving bloodhounds into their trenches. If you read the German papers carefully, you will find that Great Britain is capable of a shabby trick like that. Editors must be working overtime in Berlin at present in their endeavour to show readers what uncivilised barbarians the English really are. It is easy to imagine the Kaiser offering a special prize of 2 bread tickets, £100 of iron crosses, and 6 inches of blutwurst for the best thumbs-up column. If the Sun doesn't receive cables something like these during the next week or two, the only conclusion to be arrived at will be the Schweinhole, the Blusterzung, the Zengraf and other leading German papers have lost their punch. Monday, barbarous British, wild beasts to fight, kangaroo cause coming, Berlin. That there is no limit to the inhumanity of the English is shown by a message received last night from Australia. A corps of kangaroos has sailed for Europe. These wild beasts are said to be proof against the gases which we have in self-defence been compelled to use against our hated enemies. They are armed with boomerangs, a terrible 2-edged sword used by the natives of the country. These weapons will be attached to the powerful tail of the kangaroos, and as these animals are capable of jumping from 30 to 40 feet at a bound, they will be adversaries to be reckoned with. Kangaroos were used in the terrible struggle between the armies led by General Holman and General Meagher in New South Wales some months ago, and the slaughter they caused was horrible. With one swish of its sword-bearing tail, one kangaroo has been known to decapitate 27 soldiers. Kangaroos are also being used for transport. Each animal is capable of carrying 100 pounds of ammunition in its pouch. Tuesday, bunyip for the front, more English treachery, loathsome animal allies, Berlin. The latest atrocity about to be perpetrated by the British is the use in Flanders of the Australian bunyip. This fearsome animal, half ape and half seal, is stronger than the African lion and more savage than the Indian leopard. It is one of the most loathsome creatures in the world, unlike any animal in the habitable globe. Its body is made up of a glutinous substance, upon which modern bullets have no effect. They simply go through it, and the hole fills up. In spite of this, the bunyip has great strength and is armed with 2 huge poisonous tusks with which it rends its victims to pieces. The bunyip is fiendish in the ingenuity with which it secures its prey. It goes over tracks likely to be traversed by man and excludes from its left foot patches of colourless sticky stuff. Woe to the traveller who treads in it. He is held as in a vice until the bunyip arrives to suck every drop of blood from his body and afterwards tear him to pieces. To do this, it first envelopes its victim with a huge tentacle known as the couscous, for so fearful is this snaky appendage that the leading newspapers of Australia use the name as a symbol of everything that is tyrannous and cruel. The bunyips will not be armed, but will rely upon their poisonous tusks as weapons. Their only vulnerable spot, the tip of the couscous, called the trade shell, will be protected by a steel plate. As showing the loathing with which Australians regard the bunyip, it is interesting to state that Sydney citizens invariably shudder when they pass the carvings of it on the General Post Office. Wednesday, our savage enemy, dastardly methods, inhuman warfare, Berlin. Not content with raising claws of kangaroos and bunyips, the dastardly British are now about to draw further upon Australia, that prolific recruiting ground for monstrosities. Thousands of Kookaburras are being sent to northern France for use against our naval army. The Kookaburra, a three-legged animal over 6 feet high and covered with scales. It is colloquially known as a scaler because of its periodical habit of invading the cities and jumping in and out of tram cars. It originally derived its name from Joe Cook, a famous lapidary who created what is known throughout the land as the famous necklace of negatives, and burra, a corruption of borrow, one of the most pronounced habits of the country. The Kookaburras will be hurled into our trenches by a kind of giant catapult, and it is the hope of our barbarous enemies that they will cause great havoc by the use of flint-like horns and steel-hard hoofs. When enraged, the Kookaburra emits a shriek which, when heard from a distance, resembles a famous Australian battle cry. We won't go home till morning. The end. Well, that's the most craziest thing I've ever heard, that. Good thing they didn't hear about our special paratrooper force known as the Drop Bears, or our elite guerrilla warfare experts, the Yowies. But it's interesting that they told this propaganda to their citizens. And this is over 100 years ago. And thank God that in our day and age, nowadays, no government would dare lie such outrageous lies to its people in the justification for use of doing terrible things. Okay, that's it from me. I'll get back to you all next time. Bye.